heart disease, cancer, diabetes. These are leading killers in Western society, yet virtually non-existent in certain Japanese villages where people routinely live past 100. Dr. Shigeki Hinohara, who practiced medicine until his death at 105, discovered their secret. 3 specific foods consumed daily that activate the body's longevity pathways. Modern science now confirms what these centenarians knew all along. In today's video, we're revealing these 3 powerful foods that could add decades to your life, foods you can find in any grocery store. But before we dive in, tell me in the comments where you're watching from, and hit subscribe for more evidence-based health secrets that mainstream medicine isn't talking about. The first longevity food Dr. Hinohara recommended might surprise you: fermented soybeans, or natto. While it may not win any beauty contests with its sticky texture and strong aroma, this traditional Japanese food is perhaps the most potent longevity food ever discovered. What makes natto remarkable is its extraordinarily high vitamin K2 content. Just 100 grams contains up to 1,100 micrograms of K2, more than 10 times what you'd find in cheese or other fermented foods. Why does this matter? Vitamin K2 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein that prevents calcium from depositing in your arteries. This is crucial because arterial calcification is the primary driver of heart disease, America's #1 killer. A landmark Rotterdam study followed 4,800 participants for over 7 years and found those with the highest vitamin K2 intake had a 57% lower risk of dying from heart disease. Even more remarkable, they had a 52% lower risk of severe arterial calcification. The study controlled for all other factors, confirming it was specifically K2 providing this protection. For adults over 50, this is particularly significant as arterial calcification accelerates after midlife, with 70% of Americans over 70 showing significant arterial calcification. Just 1 serving of natto daily provides more than enough K2 to help prevent this process. Natto contains a remarkable compound called pyrroloquinoline quinone, or PQQ. This powerful nutrient does something almost nothing else can. It stimulates the growth of new mitochondria in your cells. Mitochondria are your cellular energy factories, and their decline is a primary driver of aging. As we reach 40, most people have lost about 40% of their mitochondrial function compared to when they were 20. By age 70, this decline reaches 70%. PQQ triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new mitochondria through activation of the PGC-1-alpha pathway. In one human clinical trial, just 20 milligrams of PQQ improved memory and attention scores by 30% in healthy adults aged 50 to 70. 1 serving of natto contains approximately 61 nanograms of PQQ, making it one of the richest food sources available. The recommended daily intake for anti-aging benefits is about 20 to 40 milligrams, which can be achieved through regular natto consumption supplemented with other PQQ-rich foods. Perhaps most impressive is natto's unique enzyme called nattokinase, which has remarkable effects on cardiovascular health. This enzyme directly dissolves blood clots and reduces fibrin, the protein involved in clot formation. This is particularly important for adults over 50, as abnormal clotting becomes progressively more common with age. By age 70, over 40% of adults have elevated fibrinogen levels, increasing their risk of dangerous clot formation. A 2017 study published in Hypertension Research found that nattokinase supplementation for just 8 weeks reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 5.55 millimeters of mercury and diastolic pressure by 2.84 millimeters of mercury. This is comparable to many first-line blood pressure medications, but without the side effects. One serving of natto contains approximately 1,000 fibrin degradation units of nattokinase, which falls within the therapeutic range shown in clinical studies. So, how much natto should I eat? Dr. Hinohara recommended one small serving daily, about 3 to 4 tablespoons or 50 grams, ideally consumed at breakfast when your digestive enzymes are most active. What if I can't stand the taste? While traditional Japanese centenarians consume natto plain, you can make it more palatable by mixing it with rice, adding it to miso soup, or even blending it into a smoothie with strong flavors like ginger and citrus to mask the taste. Are there any concerns for people on blood thinners? If you're currently taking blood thinners like warfarin, consult your doctor before incorporating natto into your diet, as the high vitamin K content may interfere with medication effectiveness. Second on our list is purple sweet potatoes. Our second longevity food comes from Okinawa, Japan's famous blue zone, with the highest percentage of centenarians in the world. Before the 1950s, purple sweet potatoes made up over 60% of the traditional Okinawan diet, and these islanders experienced virtually no heart disease, cancer, or dementia. Purple sweet potatoes get their vibrant color from anthocyanins, the same compounds found in blueberries, but in much higher concentrations. One medium purple sweet potato contains approximately 361 milligrams of anthocyanins, nearly 4 times what you'd get in a cup of blueberries. These powerful antioxidants work by neutralizing free radicals that damage DNA and accelerate aging. But what makes anthocyanins special is their ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, providing direct protection to brain cells. In the Nurses' Health Study, women who consumed the highest amounts of anthocyanin-rich foods experienced 34% less cognitive decline over a 6-year period compared to those consuming the lowest amounts. This translates to having a brain approximately 2.5 years younger than their chronological age. For adults concerned about cognitive decline, this is significant as brain atrophy typically accelerates after age 60, with about 0.5% volume loss per year. Regular consumption of anthocyanin-rich purple sweet potatoes may significantly slow this process. Purple sweet potatoes contain high levels of resistant starch, a special type of fiber that resists digestion in the small intestine and instead ferments in the colon, feeding beneficial gut bacteria. When these bacteria metabolize resistant starch, they produce butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that serves as the primary fuel source for your colon cells and has remarkable anti-inflammatory properties. One medium purple sweet potato contains approximately 6 grams of resistant starch, which is significant considering the average American consumes only about 5 grams daily. Research suggests optimal gut health requires 15 to 20 grams daily. This is particularly important for older adults, as studies show gut microbiome diversity typically declines by about 25% between ages 40 and 65. This decline correlates directly with increased systemic inflammation, the root cause of most age-related diseases. A 2019 study published in Cell Host and Microbe found that resistant starch consumption increased beneficial bifidobacteria populations by over 200% in just 2 weeks, while simultaneously reducing inflammatory markers by 38%. For maximum benefit, Dr. Hinohara recommended consuming purple sweet potatoes after they've been cooked and then cooled. The cooling process increases resistant starch content through a process called retrogradation. The ideal preparation is to bake or steam them, then refrigerate overnight, and consume either cold or gently reheated. This method maximizes both the anthocyanin preservation and resistant starch content. For those concerned about blood sugar, It's worth noting that purple sweet potatoes have a lower glycemic index than orange varieties, approximately 44 compared to 70 for regular sweet potatoes, making them suitable even for those monitoring their glucose levels. The third longevity food, seaweed, particularly varieties known as kombu and wakame. Seaweed is one most Westerners rarely consume but is a daily staple in Japanese centenarian villages. What makes seaweed exceptional is its incredible iodine content. Just 1 gram of dried kombu contains approximately 2,000 micrograms of iodine, more than 13 times the recommended daily intake of 150 micrograms. This matters because iodine deficiency remains surprisingly common, affecting nearly 30% of the global population. Even in the United States, mild deficiency affects an estimated 35% of women of reproductive age and increases to nearly 50% in those over 60. Iodine is critical for thyroid function, and the thyroid essentially serves as your body's metabolic control center. As we age, thyroid function naturally declines about 2% per decade after age 30, contributing to the metabolic slowdown many experience with aging. Regular seaweed consumption helps maintain optimal thyroid function well into advanced age. In Japanese centenarian villages, thyroid disorders are rare, with prevalence rates below 3% compared to 20% in age-matched Western populations. Perhaps the most impressive compound in seaweed is fucoidan, a complex polysaccharide with remarkable anti-aging properties. Kombu and wakame seaweeds contain approximately 4% fucoidan by dry weight. Multiple studies have shown fucoidan activates cellular cleaning processes like autophagy, essentially your body's internal recycling system that removes damaged cellular components. This process naturally declines with age, with autophagy function decreasing approximately 30% by age 70. A groundbreaking 2018 study in marine drugs found that fucoidan extended lifespan in animal models by 14 to 22% through multiple mechanisms, including reduced oxidative damage, enhanced cellular stress resistance, and improved insulin sensitivity. For perspective, a 14% increase in human lifespan would translate to an additional 11 years of life for someone with an 80-year life expectancy. Beyond specific nutrients, seaweed provides something the modern diet severely lacks: an alkalizing effect on body chemistry. The standard Western diet creates chronic low-grade metabolic acidosis, which accelerates bone loss and muscle wasting with age. Seaweed's high mineral content, particularly potassium, magnesium, and calcium, helps neutralize this acid load. One study found that just 5 grams of seaweed daily reduced biomarkers of metabolic acidosis by 15% in adults over 55. This is significant because metabolic acidosis increases by approximately 1.5% for every decade after 40, primarily due to declining kidney function. Regular seaweed consumption helps offset this age-related trend. Dr. Hinohara recommended incorporating small amounts of seaweed daily rather than occasional large servings. The ideal amount is approximately 5 grams of dried seaweed daily, which is about 1/2x 4-inch sheet of kombu or 2 tablespoons of dried wakame. For practical application, you can add wakame to miso soup, create seaweed salads, or use kombu when cooking beans or grains to enhance flavor and nutrition. For convenience, seaweed snacks available in most grocery stores provide a simple way to incorporate this food, though they typically contain less fucoidan than traditional preparations. One important caution: while iodine is beneficial, excessive amounts can potentially disrupt thyroid function. If you have a pre-existing thyroid condition, start with smaller amounts, about 1 gram daily, and monitor how you feel. While modern medicine focuses on treating disease after it develops, Dr. Hinohara's approach was different: prevent disease by nourishing the body with these three powerful foods: natto for vitamin K2, PQQ, and nattokinase. Protecting your heart and creating new mitochondria: purple sweet potatoes for anthocyanins and resistant starch. Preserving brain function and gut health: seaweed for iodine, fucoidan, and alkalizing minerals. Supporting thyroid function and cellular cleaning. What's remarkable is that these foods align perfectly with recent discoveries in longevity research. The compounds they contain activate precisely the same cellular pathways that expensive supplements and emerging drugs target, but in the balanced, synergistic way that only whole foods can provide. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button so more people can discover these life-changing foods. I'd love to hear in the comments which of these foods you're most likely to try first, or if you already incorporate any of them into your diet. Also, I'm curious, what other longevity topics would you like me to cover in future videos? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our evidence-based health videos that could literally add years to your life. Remember, Dr. Hinohara practiced medicine until 105, proving that age is truly just a number when you nourish your body correctly. Until next time, live longer, healthier, and happier.